What's up guys, Stark here. In today's character spotlight, I'm taking a look at the mysterious Heroine X. So I'm gonna just jump right into it here and throw her pictures on the screen right now. Now she is one of the assassin class characters that I do want to get eventually, but unfortunately she's not the best character, so I'm not really gonna go out of my way to get her. But this has kind of got me thinking that I'm gonna make a video of all the characters I want from each class that'll cover both current servants and the ones in Japan. I think that'd be a cool little video to make, and I'm not exactly sure when I'll do it, but it should be coming out within the next couple of days. But yeah, moving on here to the actual character spotlight. She is an assassin and she's a 5-star, so she will go up to level 90, and at level 90 she will have 11,761 attack and 12,696 HP. So for her attack stats, that will rank her 8th overall in current servants, and for her HP stat, that'll rank her 24th overall. So she does have some really high attack stats, like comparable with even some of the better servants, or the best servants in the game. But she has a little bit lower on the HP side, which isn't too, uncommon for assassins. But overall, she does have some good stats, so you really can't take anything away from her there. If you do decide to max her out completely, she will end up with 14,874 attack and 15,909 HP. So moving on here to her servant skills, and this is where the character sees its biggest weak spot and disappointment, and it's what's really stopping her from becoming an overall really good top tier servant. She has really good stats, but her skills don't exactly back up, that sort of like top tier skills or stat set, and she just loses a lot of points here, unfortunately. Her first skill though is going to be the support artillery EX skill, which will target all enemies, but it has a medium chance to inflict stun on an enemy after one turn. So this is kind of an annoying skill to begin with because it's not a 100% chance, it's a medium percent, like a medium, why do I keep saying medium percent? It's a medium chance to inflict stun. So it starts at 60% at level 1 and it goes to 80% at level 10. So even if you max it out, it's still not 100%. And then the other drawback to this skill is that it doesn't even do it on the first turn you use it, it does it on the second turn. So you could potentially use this skill and then theoretically you can clear the wave and the skill doesn't even trigger. So that's like really baffling to begin with, and it's not even guaranteed. And then it has a 10-turn charge time at the start of the fight. So it's not even like a normal like 7 or an 8 turn. It starts at 10 turns, which is just kind of ridiculous. You're probably not going to ever get this to really work, and even if you do get a chance to get it off, it doesn't have that 100% chance, so it really it's not going to be useful. If you do get it, you're just going to get lucky, but you can't count on this skill at all. So moving on here to her second skill, it's going to be the Intuition C+ skill. Now this will be a self buff that gains critical stars, so you'll gain 4 stars at level 1 and 14 stars at level 10. So this isn't like a terrible skill, but it doesn't really give you all that much as far as usability goes. It just gives you a couple stars, and if that was a second skill comboed with other really good skills, then it wouldn't be a problem. But on its own, it's really not that good. It doesn't stand out or anything. However, it does have a strengthening quest that you can do to power it up, and it will change Intuition C+ to Star of Saber C++. This is also a self buff that will apply invincible for 1 turn as well as gain critical stars. So this is definitely a better skill overall, and it gives you 10 stars at level 1 and 20 stars at level 10 as well as applying invincibility for 1 turn. So this is a really good skill, but again, the other 2 skills they're not really that good, and this one skill alone isn't going to be enough to carry this servant. So moving on here to her third and final skill, it's going to be the Galactic Meteor Sword C, and this will increase critical star drop rate against Saber enemies for 3 turns, and bonus damage against Saber enemies for 3 turns. So yeah, the skill's nice with its stats and all that stuff, but it only works against Saber enemies, so that's kind of a huge drawback where you can only use it against Saber enemies. And seeing as she's an assassin, you probably just want to take an archer into that fight instead of an assassin. So, I mean, I guess it's up to you. Maybe you don't have any good archers and you have this character and you want to throw her in there. I don't know, but it doesn't have a huge use because it's very, very limited It doesn't even have any additional effect where that would be like a universal effect, and then you have like an extra effect where it only targets sabers. Overall though, it's just not, in my opinion, very good. However, if you do want to know, you guys can see the percentages right there, but at level 1 it is a 50% increase in critical star drop rate, and then at level 10 it's 100%, and then for the bonus damage it'll be a 30% increase in bonus damage at level 1 and 50% at level 10. So again, if that's something you want to do, go for it. She does have really good stats, so it is, you're going to be doing a lot of damage against those saber enemies, but if you have any sort of good archer, you probably would just want to use them instead. Moving on here to her class skills. She does have two, and the first one is going to be the Cosmo Reactor A. This will increase critical star drop rate by 10%, and the second one is the Riding EX, which will increase quick card effectiveness by 12%. So these are a couple of pretty good skills here just to increase her damage a little bit more. Moving on here to her Ascension and her skill enhancement materials. She will need Dragon Fangs, Feathers, and the Scales. And then for her skill enhancement materials, she will need Feathers, Fangs, Dust, and Crystals. So overall here, especially for her skill enhancements, she doesn't need a whole lot as far as like top tier premium items to fully level her up, which is really nice because her skills aren't that good, so you can use some of the lower tier, items to max out her skills. I guess that's one benefit. Moving on here to her command cards and her Noble Phantasm, she does have 2 quick, 2 arts, and 1 buster card. You do primarily want to use her in quick teams or arts teams, but primarily quick teams because she does deal with critical damage, and her Noble Phantasm is quick as well, and it will deal significant damage to a single enemy, and then it will deal special damage to Artoria face enemies. So this is essentially, I'm saying it this way because normally I would say it's saber enemies, but that might be confused for the saber class, which it's not. It's only for the enemies that look like Artoria Pendragon, I guess the original saber. Anyone that looks like her will get the special damage done to. There are quite a few of them in the game, but it's only against those enemies. It's not against any other sabers. So I just wanted to clarify that. But yeah, once again, this is a huge drawback for this character where it only specifically works on a very limited number of characters. And I do think there's like 7, 8, 9, maybe, I don't know the exact number of saber characters like that, but it's a very limited pool when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, and if you're not going against one of them, you're kind of out of luck. Now, it's going to do a ton of damage anyway for a single hit, so there's always that, and she's an assassin, so, if you want to go kill some riders, that's always very good if you're using her for her stats. But, her skills and her Noble Phantasm, they're just really not that good. There is a strengthening quest you can do to power up the Noble Phantasm, and it will just increase the base damage of the initial effect a little bit. So yeah, it's not too much, but, it is nice that it does the increase in damage to the universal effect rather than the saber effect. So that's pretty nice. If you're going in against rider enemies, you could do some really serious damage with this character, and that's always nice. If you're just using her for her stats, that's really good. If not, though, unless you're going against a saber face enemy, you're probably not really going to use this character too much. I still want her though. I can't take that away from her. If you look at all the assassins, she's probably one of the few that I do want. So eventually, one day, I do hope to get her, but I'm not going to be spending money to pull together. Moving on here to her craft essences that you can use. At level 10 bonds, it will unlock the extermination list, and while equipped, it will grant all allies 20% bonus damage against saber face enemies. So again, this is the same thing that we talked about before. It's very, very limited to what you can actually do. This one might actually be for all sabers overall, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't have it. I've never seen anyone use it, so I'm not completely sure though. So some other craft essences that you can use for this character. She's basically a stat 6, so you just want to keep going with that theme. So you can use the Gander for the 15% increase, or you could use Imaginary Around for the 25% increase for quick card effectiveness. So that's pretty much going to wrap up this video here. I will leave you guys with her Noble Phantasm, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
成功の剣 赤とは白とか黒とか消し去るべし。